Hello, welcome to the Abon Podcast. I am Abon, your host. Better known as Owen, but for this, I'm just gonna be calling this the Abon Podcast because that's what my gamer tag is, and why the heck not? I apologize in advance for the audio. This is my first time doing a proper podcast. I don't really know how it's gonna really go. I'm gonna be talking about a few different things today. Uh, like, uh, we'll go over that in a minute here, but basically, please do not judge me for anything that goes on. This is merely a test because I want to get good marks in English. So, yeah, this is also going to be going up on my new YouTube channel, Abon Podcasts. If you want to subscribe to my gaming channel, it's Average Canadian Gamer. And let's get right into the podcast. I've never done something like this, so I don't really know what you guys are hoping to expect. But it's well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in general for this. But we're just going to be talking about a few subjects that I have lined up for us today. And some of those might be like some of the effects that COVID-19 has had in Canada only. The Russian protests going on. And other stuff that we'll be going through. I'm just going to start by saying, hope everyone's been having a decent quarantine. And well, happy Halloween, October, whatever you're doing. It probably isn't the best because of COVID. Hopefully people will be able to get out. If they can't, well, it might just go around your neighborhood or have family members set up stuff for your children, depending their age. So we will begin that right here. I'm just setting up the rest of the podcast. In advance. I apologize if there's glitches in the audio. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, this is my first podcast. So, yeah, let's get right into it. COVID. Well, that was unexpected. I was actually, before COVID really took off, I was in Mexico for March break on my vacation. During my grade 9th year of podcast or high school, my first year of high school, it was something else. We did have a fun time. We got to do a couple of excursions. Those are basically where you go off of the resort that you have, and it was fun. It was fun, but the only downside, we didn't go to this old monument. We were gonna do that on the Thursday. We left on the Wednesday of March break, and we had the week prior, we took a plane on Thursday morning around 6 a.m. We got there around 12, I believe, in the afternoon, 1 in the afternoon, 12 in the afternoon, our time. I think they're like an hour difference. If it's the opposite, I apologize. I'm not one to understand timing and all that. So, we get there. It's fun. It looks nice. It it was a nice resort. I'll link it down in the description below. And yeah, first day we get there. Something I love about going on vacations, if it's not driving, is like flying. That's one of my favorite things ever I've done. I've done it. Oh crap. When I was it was a couple years ago. I was still in elementary. I think I was in grade 3. I think we went to Florida for the first time. Went to Disney. Legoland was awesome. We went there. And we also went to Orlando, or we were in Orlando, but Universal Studios. You gotta try the Simpsons right there. It's awesome. And African Lion Safari that they got down there. It was pretty fun. They were actually when we went there, they were taking down a bunch of their old contraptions or attractions. Sorry, I think that's where the Star Wars land is now. That's probably what they were doing back then, because it's been a couple of years since they've announced it, I believe. Yeah, so we took a plane there and back. The second time we drove, and then went to Dominican. Not my last year of elementary in grade 8. And then this time I've been on a plane, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I've been on planes 7 times. It's not the highest number, but it's a fun experience. Like just going to the airport, being excited, like being able to get on that airplane, all the adrenaline building up. Like it's a good time. I don't think there's many people that will disagree with me on that. I'm sure the people that would disagree with me on that, but I'm sure they have valid reasons. Like I'm not saying that the reasons aren't valid if they do have any, but like I just enjoy it. It's a fun experience. Just all that time and waiting to be able to do it. We were waiting since our grandparents announced it Christmas. It was like our Christmas gift. They did that another year, and they did this funny little thing, like, here we go again, and it was like a picture of Mexico and one of the monuments we would have been going on. And yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so I've been on plane 7 times. We got there. When we arrived in Mexico, we got there and basically just sat and waited for our room to get finished, and I'm pretty sure it was, honestly. I'm pretty sure they had gotten our room finished, but they just hadn't like finished vacuuming or whatnot. Like the people had left like 2 hours before that, so they still had a few things to do. So we waited there for like half an hour, and then they came, told us our room was ready, and I was because it was cold when we left. So like classic Canadian March. We left from the London airport, which was pretty fun. When we went to Dominican, we went to the Toronto airport. And we did that. After we got into the room, I was basically like, yo, we going to the beach. We went to the beach. I actually ran to one of the little variety store things they have in the hotel. All of them have it, and grabbed like a whole face snorkel, like a full face snorkel. And oh my, that thing, if you ever go somewhere like the Caribbean, or you're like in an ocean where it's not like super rough, you gotta get one of those full face goggles or like snorkel type things. They are so much fun. We did that. Went to a Italian place that they have down there. Got some I think no, the first night we went, they had this big buffet. We went there for dinner that night and breakfast in the morning, because that's the only place you're able to get breakfast unless you go down to the little cafe. They got some donuts and pastries down there. They were quite nice. Their donuts were really good. They had actual dark chocolate that's made on the down there, and that was super nice. The day after that, we had like a beach day, like a whole day just at the beach. Then I think the day after that, we kind of explored around. There's this teen zone with a bunch of PS4s and Xboxes, and they had a full-fledged like VR racing system. Like, it was specific for this one race game, or Microsoft Flight Simulator, or Steam Flight Simulator. And they have like a bunch of racing games on it, like with the steering wheel, a manual shifter, or just what's standard in cars now, automatic. And you could, like, it was full-fledged. It was really dope. You can only do the VR, I think, from 8 or 1 in the afternoon to 8 at night is what I think it was. And the pools, they were super nice. It'd be nice if you were in the ocean, you had salt water in your eyes, just hop over in a chlorine pool, wash off, and it's a satisfying feeling. Trust me. To get all that salt water out of your mouth and eyes, and it's just, yeah. We went on these like kayaks that they had. It was fun. We did that in Dominican, and me and my grandpa and my brother flipped. I was on a single person, they were on a double, and my brother freaked out. I was able to flip my kayak back over because I may have been having a bit of panic attack, and just adrenaline boosted every single limb in my body with adrenaline, and I just flipped it, got back on, went over, grabbed my brother's oar, because my grandpa had his, and kind of followed them to the shore, and then paddled back to the resort. They dragged theirs back, so I was a bit faster than them. But don't go straight out and then come straight back in. Don't go on your side, because that's how I flipped. A wave hit me, and I wasn't going straight on at it. So yeah, just a bit of precaution there. The day after that, we went on an excursion to an island on these boats that they have there. A bunch of cruise ships were there, and when our boats were leaving, they were leaving. I got a burrito, a fancy Mexican-style burrito. It was delicious, may I add. I'm pretty sure I had freshly killed beef on it, from what I heard at the back of the restaurant. They would joke around. They only slaughtered chickens at the back. All their other beef was brought in from farms around the area. So that was really cool that you were getting like freshly supplied beef and chicken and pork and all that. Their food down there was really good. Hot sauce, on the other hand, I couldn't handle some of them. Like, I can handle a bit of Frank's Red Hot, but this was beyond me. Then after that, we had a couple of beach days, and then my dad, my mom, and my stepdad, and everyone else back home, like my other grandparents, my aunts, uncles, cousins, started freaking out because COVID, like, took off, skyrocketed. And, well, basically, they kept pressuring us to come home. And this was, like, Monday, I think. Monday that this happened. So what we did is decide that, okay, we don't know what we're gonna do. This is like beginning COVID where everyone was terrified of it. Basically, all we did was pack up our stuff and left on the Wednesday. We did go on a smaller excursion. We didn't plan this one, but we just started driving around. It was like these old ruins. We did get some nice photos there. It was super nice. And the day after that, we headed on home. We had to take 2 flights that day. We had, so we went to the airport that we came from, did all that jazz, and we actually had to fly in to Toronto. We flew from Cancun to Dallas, where we had a connecting flight, Dallas, Texas, and waited there a couple hours, got some food, super good, got some beef, super big, just like they say, everything's bigger in Texas. I'm not even joking. I got a 3-pound ribeye, or like a 4-pound, whatever it was. It was bigger than what it is up here in Canada. I think they just do that. I think the stereotype is real, but it was pretty good. It was a nice restaurant in the Dallas airport. Then we got on our connecting flight. Before we did, I was just texting all my friends, calling them up, like, it's about to go down. And I was making it like planes going down or something, so they were freaking out. That was funny. So we got on that flight, flew back. I watched the Terminator on the plane, the newest one that just came out. Super good movie. And that flight attendant song, basically warning you about what's going on, I've heard it 100 times now. I've seen it so many times. And I didn't turn off airplane mode. I didn't turn it on. I had forgotten, like, halfway through the flight. I go check my phone because they have Wi-Fi on it. I chat with my friends and just see, oh no. Okay, well, I can fly the airplane. Pull up. And obviously that'd be well, it's not impossible, but it'd just be funny if I could. I turn it on and basically go from there. We land, we get a taxi in a Chevy Tahoe, 2019 Chevy Tahoe. When I say sorry, hit the mic. When I say Chevy Tahoe's like older ones, like 2010 one's nice, you haven't even seen a 2020 Tahoe. Like, it is beyond me. I can probably get an image here. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was nice. It was this black one right here. Yeah, it was similar to that. Yeah, it was nice. We got right back to our house. We had to quarantine for 4 weeks, and what basically the school had said we're not coming back for, or we had to quarantine for 14 days, which is basically 2 weeks. And school said they're closing for 2 weeks. Where I go, I'm not gonna say it, because I don't want whoever crackheads or whoever, if this does eventually take off, which I'm hoping it does, knock on wood. I think, is that what you do? I don't know. Knock on wood, so it does take off. Or if it doesn't. Basically, the school said we're closing for 14 days because of COVID. Everyone's going to quarantine. All right, we were chill. Basically, just playing Minecraft with the boys on the PS4, living the dream. Definitely a few more than 10 arguments with my brother throughout the 14 days. I didn't bother bring my computer setup down there because I really saw no point in it. And yeah, it was just a fun time in that quarantine with my grandparents. We watched every night. We'd have some smoothies and watch a movie, and we finished the entire Hunger Games saga the last couple of days in quarantine. And it was fun, and I always get so mad because I haven't seen them, and they'd leave them in cliffhangers. I'm like, no, I can't handle a cliffhanger. Leave me alone. I'm going to play Minecraft, and I'd play it till like 2 in the morning. Whatever time it would end up being. And, go to sleep. Then when we got out of quarantine, went home, said, thank God I'm in my own gaming setup again. And, after that, quarantined until I think the major quarantine went until like May, and then you could actually be around people that you didn't have to be. I think you could be have 20 people around each other back then, at least where we were. After that, summer went on. It was nice. My parents were always complaining I kept sleeping in all summer. What do you expect from a 15-year-old in summer when he doesn't give two flying? Just a disclaimer, there will be swearing throughout the video, where he does not give two flying refrigerators. I can't swear. I won't. But just as a disclaimer, in case I accidentally do. Pardon my language throughout the rest of the podcast. It's going to go for another half an hour now, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm just going along with random things. Then the George Floyd incident happened. R.I.P. Well, actually, June wasn't. Actually, something bigger happened in June. My grandfather passed away to stage 4 brain, lung, and hip cancer. That wasn't a good time because they wouldn't let us see him as much. So when I said I was pissed, I was pissed. He passed away in his sleep peacefully. They don't have air conditioning where he was staying. It was like a final resting place home. It's called Secure House down in Woodstock, Ontario. That's kind of towards London. It's attached to the 401. Yeah, it sucked. It hit the family hard. My little cousins, my older cousin Braden, he kind of understood it, but he really didn't. And my little cousin Maddie, it hit her hard. Braden didn't understand, but Maddie kind of did. Yeah, it sucks. And multiple people in my town have passed away due to cancer. I'm not going to do the cancer talk. I can't. I can't more than, I can talk about it for, 2-3 minutes, but longer than that, I just burst out into tears. One of my friends has had someone pass away to cancer. My neighbor, who was one of my friend's grandmothers, passed away to cancer. And, it sucks. But getting away from that topic, summer went on, and it just, I think, towards the end of August I was kind of going into town to the skate park and just scootering, hanging out with my friends. And we really just school started, and here we are to today. It's grade 10's fun. I have tech classes. The scheduling is really weird. I'm not gonna go into it. And I've seen on TikTok some of the protests that vegans are doing against like these big trucks hauling cattle and sheep or whatever they're hauling, and I'm pretty sure a lady got hit, but like, how do you expect to see a 5'3" person in the front of your truck when my dad's like, I think 6'2", and he can barely see the top of his head when you're sitting in his truck? Like, how do you expect that? And those trucks are probably lifted a bit more than most trucks. But I don't know how or why they think it's a good idea to sit in front of an 18-wheeler that's fully loaded. Even if it's not fully loaded, you're not stopping on a dime. Like, you're not stopping in, like, a foot. You're stopping in, like, 5 feet. Probably more than that. Unloaded, like, just bobtailing, at least 5 feet. But, like, with a trailer, you're sitting over, like, 2 ton when you're loaded. So, the long term of it is, don't be an idiot. And there are protests, like, I guess the cases have gone down a bit, but I'll go over them now. I got a chart here. In total, we have 1,809 or 189,000 cases, and 159,000 have been recovered. There is 9,664 deaths. Let's make sure it doesn't go up by 2 more deaths and stay at that number, because no one wants that. Ontario has the most with let's see here, Nunavut at 0 for 0 cases and 0 recovered and 0 deaths. Northwest Territories has 5 cases and 5 recovered. Nordy Quebec has 9 cases, and it doesn't say the number of how many have recovered. I think that just stands for normal Quebec. The Yukon has had 15 cases in total, and 15 people recovered. North Bay has had 41 cases and 39, so they still got 2 people up there. Prince Edward Island has 63 cases and 63 people recovered. This is like today's information. Like, I got this off of a chart this morning and just typed it all down. Thunder Bay, 108 people have confirmed cases and 106 people have recovered. Sudbury, 110 cases and 106 have recovered with 2 deaths. North Bay has 1. Prince Edward Island has 0. Peterborough has 131 cases and 127 recovered with 2 deaths. Kingston has 167 cases and 155 have recovered, 0 deaths. And I'm not going over like the counties or the county things that they have. Let's see. I will go over Oxford County because that's where I'm from. We have 274 cases and 267 recoveries and 5 deaths. Newfoundland has 283 cases 271 recoveries and 4 deaths. New Brunswick, 292 cases, 200 recovered. You gotta step up your game. I guess it's not as low as some other places. Let's see. Saskatchewan, 45 cases and just 455, sorry. And it's just a couple lines there. It doesn't say how many have recovered or died. I'm pretty sure they could just walk a couple miles apart and then you'll still see the guy. You can talk to him through a walkie-talkie, wave at him. That province flyer than my ex-girlfriend. Roasted. But, yeah, there's basically farmland. It's flatter than a driveway right after being paved. It's flatter than how the people call flat Earth. I'm against them completely. I don't think the Earth is flat. That's a whole different podcast for a whole different time. But, hang on a second. I apologize for the mic flick, but I can tell there's going to be a spike here in a second. I could just see in the audio settings that there's going to be a spike. Nova Scotia has 1,092 cases, 1,023 recovered, 65 deaths. Hamilton is a category on its own. It has more than a whole province. It has 1,327, 1,140 recovered, and 47 deaths. They have not as much deaths as Nova Scotia, which is good, but at the same time, that's a very large number. In our region that is high, the Waterloo region, like Guelph and all that, 1,881 cases and 1,638 recovered, 120 deaths. That is unfortunate, 'cause my father lives in Guelph. Saskatchewan, I'm a Canadian, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. 2,199 cases, 1,920 cases recovered, 25 deaths. Windsor is at a very high number, 2,713 confirmed cases and 2,587 recovered. So they're pushing through. 76 deaths. Manitoba, 2,925 cases confirmed and 1,514 cases recovered. 35 deaths. Ottawa, basically the Washington, D.C. of Canada. I'm just 5,373 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 4,229 cases recovered, 297 deaths. We're getting into the very high death range right here. Ontario is number top because it is basically the Washington, D.C. of Canada. British Columbia, 10,892 cases confirmed, 9,112 recovered, 250 deaths. Alberta, 21,199 confirmed cases, 18,223 confirmed recovered. 287 deaths. Toronto. Okay. The New York of Canada. Toronto. A bit closer to our DC than the US. Or like White House than the US. But I digress. I'm not the one who makes this stuff up. I'm not the one... Well, I guess our Vancouver is like the DC of Canada. Or New York of Canada. But they're expensive. New York, I'm pretty sure they have a bit cheaper lifestyle than we do. I can't get my water bottle open. I give up. But, again, I digress. It's a very high number. 22,302 confirmed cases, 18,473 cases. Toronto, step up your game, my guy. Okay? Doug Ford, do your job properly. Stop putting more foot units on the ground to test if people have COVID. Put them back into a quarantine for how many cases you've had. 1,318 deaths. Ford, come on. Pick up your game. You're having people die to the virus caused by a little Flappy Bird. Montreal is 38,131. They're not saying how many recovered, but they've had 3,498 people die, unfortunately. Quebec, we've had 88,994 confirmed cases and 74,483 recovered. 5,000 deaths. Almost 6,000 now. 5,977. Ontario, where I am from, my homeland. The first ever bit of Canada. I look at it. Ontario's like a boot. It looks like a boot. It looks like a boot. I can't be the only one who thinks this. But does this not look like a boot to anyone else? With that there and like this being a thigh and this a foot. I'm not the only one who thinks this. Like it looks like it. It just does. Like here's an image of CAA. Holy crap, there's not much of them. They got one all the way up in Thunder Bay. Well, like it looks like a boot. It looks like a boot. It's a boot. It's a boot there, bud. I'm not racist towards Canadians. I am Canadian. I drink maple syrup all day there, Yeah, accidentally got a glimpse of the music I had playing. The Chill Cow live stream, chill music, lo-fi hip-hop, not that bad. Going back to into what I was saying, yeah, Ontario, 61,413 confirmed cases, 52,512 recovered, 3,017 deaths. So, not as many deaths as other places. Like, Toronto is up high. That's where a good majority of them are. In total, we've had 9,664 deaths, 500, yeah, it's something else. Don't go around eating bats or eating exotic animals Unless you're like Joe Rogan and Steve Rinella, who know what they're doing. Love those guys. Um, yeah, like some of the things that do go on with like eating stuff or hunting. Like if you're gonna hunt for things that you are like. Just hunt for things that aren't that as exotic. Like what I hunt for deer, turkey, elk eventually, moose eventually, deer, coyotes, and yeah, that's about it. Like it's not that crazy. It's just animal control, keeping the numbers down or level. Like coyotes, we are legally able to hunt them all year. We only hunt them in the winter because we're able to sell the hides and keep the population down. Because where I live is a very high population. I'm in Ontario, the south side of more south side of Ontario, and where I'm from, it's not that bad, but we do still have some pest problems. Raccoons are quite annoying. And down here, Canadians are trying to change the gun laws, which I don't agree with. Well, I do, but I don't. They say that guns kill people. It's not guns that kill people. Alright, let me give you a test. Yes, guns kill. It's not guns that kill people, it's the people that kill other people using guns as an instrument of death. Then guns get a bad rap, and hunters like me lose pieces of equipment that we use to take out animals. Like big game, small game, all that. Like an AR-15, like you don't need that. But my 12 gauge pump action shotgun, like I don't see what's wrong with owning one of those. I don't, obviously. We just classify it as mine in the family, but legally I don't own it, but theoretically it's like mine. You can probably understand where I'm getting at here. My great grandfather, he has a semi-automatic rifle that he uses for elk. We can only have 5 rounds in the magazine plus 1 in the chamber. Same with the shotgun. 2 in the tube and 1 in the chamber. Up here in Canada, we have strict gun laws, unlike in the US, where like we're not legally able to hunt with pistols or anything under 18.5 inches. Anything under that is known as a restricted firearm, and you need a special license to have that. If you want to take that to a gun range, you have to contact the police like weeks prior to actually getting or going to the gun range. And that's the only place you'd be legally able to use it, unless you're like shooting in your backyard in the middle of the country. I'm pretty sure you're legally able to shoot there as well. I'd have to check into that. Don't fact check me on that yet. I will get back to you on that. And like fully automatic guns, Canada, no. There is a limit to how powerful your rifle can be. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a refresher on that in a minute here once I'm finished this. And like in Canada, how many school shootings have there been? I'm curious on that. Like I'm not saying it's a good thing. But like Florida, they got hit hard. Canada has only had 2 France has only had 2, Germany's had 1, Japan's had 0, Italy's had 0, UK's had 0, US has had 288 since 2009. We've had... Yeah, Canada has only had 2. And that's since 2009. It's been a hot minute since then. I'm not too sure where they took place. Yeah, one was in 1989 and the other in 2006. Yeah. It's a big number. It's a big difference. It's a very big difference. Alright, do the math on 2 and 288. How similar are those two numbers? Very different. So I don't know why people say gun laws in Canada are bad. Because from what I can see, they are not trying to be political or anything like that. They're a lot better than the U.S. I'm gonna be ending the podcast here because, well, I've said all I need. I've said everything that needs to be said. Thank you for listening to the Aimbomb podcast. If you would like more, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what kind of topics you want me to talk about on my next podcast. I'll be posting that in about a week from now. Make sure, like I said, you like and subscribe. And stay happy, stay healthy, do your homework, listen to your parents, stay in school, don't do drugs, and stay one Michael Jordan apart. I'm out. Peace.